Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back here at the Soundscape for the weekend, working on a few projects. One of them's a rather large project, actually. It's a mastering session for an artist by the name of Snowleaf. And if you haven't checked out any of his music, it's fantastic. It's got a little bit of that folk rock vibe to it that you've heard me master before. I've got quite a few clients in that particular genre that come through the studio. So anyways, I've got an 11-song album that I'm working on. It's called Winter. And right now I'm working on the opening track of the song, which I thought was a great place to start. It's got a nice mellow vibe, and then it kind of turns into something a little bit bigger. So I've done some changes with EQ and compression via some of the gear on the rack, but more importantly, the EQs on the desk. And I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. As you know, we bought this console from a studio in Los Angeles that was owned by one of the guys from the Foo Fighters, and it's a fantastic desk. One thing that I've discovered over the past couple months of using this particular console is that it's excellent for mastering. The EQs are very broad, so I'm able to make changes that are musical, warm. They're not super surgical, so to speak. If I'm looking for something like that, I've got some Neve 1073 EQs on the rack that I can use. But these are really broad, and that's what I like when I'm mastering. I don't want to make super major changes. I feel like if I have to make really big changes, then obviously the mix wasn't right to begin with. So really colorful EQs. Let's take a listen. I'll give you a little bit of an A-B with this opening track. The opening track is called More of You, Less of Me. I'll play a little bit of it right now. This is going to be without the EQ changes. So I'm going to shut the EQs off on the channels right now. I'll play a little bit, then I'll play it back with the small, wide, broad changes with the EQ that I was talking about. Check this out. Okay, I don't want to go too long, so let's engage these EQs. These are the Trident 80B series EQs that are on the console, the actual channel strip EQs. Let's check it out. One thing you're going to notice is it's a little bit brighter, a little bit more open, and perhaps a little less muddy. This is the first pass EQ, the first pass EQ that I'm doing on this particular mix. Let's check it out. Right away you can tell it's brighter, a little bit clearer. So I know what you're saying. You're saying, you know what, that wasn't enough of a change for me. But mastering is very small changes. It's not like we want to go from A to Z. We want to make very small changes. And again, if the mix isn't right, the master is never going to be right. So a great master comes from a great mix. And that means the mix should be right, meaning we really shouldn't have to make a whole lot of changes. Some of the things I'm trying to do when I'm mastering is just open things up, clear things up, perhaps make things a little less muddy, and more importantly, I want it to compete with the equalization curve of everything else that's on the radio. So a lot of times I'm going to be using some type of reference, some type of commercial reference perhaps that's similar in genre. I don't have one dialed up for this mix just yet, but I probably will as I get a little bit deeper. Let's play this one more time, but this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it without the EQ changes, and then I'm going to add the EQ changes, so hopefully you guys can hear that difference. Let's check it out. Without and then with. Okay, they sound great. Really colorful, clean. It wasn't a super noticeable difference, but it was enough to kind of just push things in the right direction, and that's really what I'm trying to do. So if you get a chance, check this artist out. His name is Snowleaf. I'm going to try to get in here as much as I can and make videos to promote some of the artists that I'm working with here at the studio, because you know what? There's a lot of great artists in the area, Detroit, Michigan, even in the Midwest that we work with, and some of the artists we don't work with, they're just out there doing their thing that are fantastic. And a lot of you guys really probably don't even know who they are. And that's a shame, really, because you know what it is? It's the fact that there are so many artists out there that just isn't any stages for them to play on right now. So let's get out there and support these venues. Let's get them opened up. We'll talk to you soon.